All right, that was a fun game to watch. I don't know if my heart can take that all season, so if we could settle down a little bit, that'd be great. But the Bengals are going to go out and win 27-24 against the Minnesota Vikings. And you know what they say. A win's a win. You take it how you can. This is a Bengals team, you know, Bengals fans, we know tried and true now how these first weeks of the seasons have gone for the Bengals in the past. There's been some crazy ways they've lost games. There's been some shocking ways they've lost games they shouldn't have lost. This is a game the Bengals are up 10 points in firm control. And such great control where it felt like the Bengals going for it on 4th and 1 and not picking it up felt like nothing. It felt like it'd be all right down the road. They'd go ahead and get the ball, drive down the field, score again. That didn't happen. The Bengals would go conservative in the fourth quarter, much like they were in the first quarter, and almost lose this football game. They got conservative in overtime, where they went run, pass. It was infuriating. It was frustrating to watch as a Bengals fan. It felt like Zach Taylor was playing scared. There was no other way to put it, at least in the first quarter. The fourth quarter, it's going to get interesting because we don't know exactly what happened with Joe Burrow, though. Joe Burrow went out there. We seen him grab that knee later in the game there, and they got real conservative from there. And you wonder, that's the one thing that's really pushed Zach Taylor to be more conservative in his tenure. We know Zach Taylor's a guy, it doesn't matter who's quarterback, he's going to sling that football. He's done it the entire time he's been a Bengals coach. He's not a guy that goes out there and tries to be run heavy. He tries to take chances. He tries to play aggressive, much like we've seen in overtime, much like we've seen in that 4th and 1 situation. But the times we've seen him get conservative. Last year when he was worried about Joe Burrow's health against teams like the Ravens, where he's getting destroyed out there, where they just gave up on the fourth quarter, which made sense. It was down 3,000 points anyway. You might as well have. But we've seen in the first quarter of this game. And that was the first time where it felt like he actually played scared, because you had to be able to trust Joe Burrow. You had to be able to trust that knee. You had to give him a chance to go out there and sling that football. And they did. Finally, they let him loose in the second. They let him loose in the third. You've seen exactly what this guy can do to teams. He did it to teams last year. You give him a little bit of control of this team. You allow them to run a little no-huddle offense. He starts drawing them off sides. He starts drawing those big plays up. You've seen the offsides T. Higgins bomb there. Ended up being an offsides free play and a pass interference. Put the Bengals in that position to score a touchdown. You seen him throw that one to Jamar Chase letter. He loves taking those chances. You give him that opportunity when you run or play or throw the football more. You run the football first and second down. You kind of take away those chances for Joe Burrow to really open things up, and you force him to be put in situations where the defense knows you're going to run or pass the football. That was the concern here with Zach Taylor's play calling today. It was very up and downy, if you will. But all things considered, you just wonder if it's the way he coaches the team when there's injuries. And at some point, you do have to say, hey, you got to let the guy loose. You got to trust him. You can't play scared. I think that's the first quarter situation here. You got to go out there and trust in Joe Burrow and give him a chance to get comfortable. If you're going to go 3 and out anyway, or a first down and 3 and out, running the ball, first down, run the ball a couple times, fine. You might as well let Burrow throw the ball 3 times to try to get this rhythm going. But that didn't really happen until the second or third. We've seen the Bengals start to open things up. You don't want to wait until the other team scores to say, all right, now let's let my quarterback open things up. I think you got to stay aggressive the entire time. You can't wait. You got to create your lead. You can't say, oh, we're behind now, let's throw the football. That's really what happened here. The Bengals fell behind, and then they said, okay, we can't keep playing this conservative game. That was a concern from a play calling standpoint, but again, we don't know the extent of this Joe Burrow injury in the fourth quarter, or we don't know the extent of it. Maybe they said it right away. It's like, if you have any problems with that knee, you come off at all, or playing conservative. And you don't want to play conservative ever. I get that you want to try to win every game there is, but if there comes a point where you're worried about Joe Burrow missing the rest of the season or missing 6-7 games compared to playing conservative for the rest of the game, in a game where really the run game wasn't doing too bad, you're going to lean towards that conservativeness a little bit there. I just thought it was interesting in overtime. At that point, I just thought you had to let him throw that football and take that chance. And we've seen them do that on a crazy play call. 4th and short. Everybody expecting this quarterback sneaker. That was the thing, too. We didn't see the sneak in there. But you expect the quarterback sneaker to run. That entire Minnesota defense was, gave them time because it was all, down in the trenches to open up for CJ Usama there. That was a gutsy play call. But that's the aggressive play calling we expected of Zach Taylor. That's the aggressive play calling that I have praised and loved out of Coach Zach Taylor since he's come here. We were so used to the conservative play calls of Lewis. We got to the aggressive play calls of Taylor. But when we seen him get conservative today, that was the first time I was really, really frustrated with some of the play calling we've seen. But again, I think that's what we have to consider is the Joe Burrow injury. That's the reason it happened. If Joe Burrow's full go, fully healthy, complete confidence, full preseason, and then they go out there and run the ball like that in the first, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But I think we have to really consider the health of the quarterback here and just making sure he's healthy for the rest of the season. I think that's the way Zach Taylor looked at this. Overall, Bengals won a football game still. It was very up and down. Defense played strong. Shout out to this defense. Who would have thought they'd get that kind of pressure on the quarterback? You gotta love it. I don't care how bad the Minnesota offensive line is or isn't. This is a Bengals defensive line that struggled to get to the quarterback against the worst offensive lines in the league last season. And see them do it multiple times this game, disrupt Kirk Cousins, disrupt that offense, and help this team win the football game. No question about it. Mentioned it. Felt a lot like that Ohio State-Oregon game. Defense needed to make a couple stops. Offense needed to score. The defense did it. Offense didn't score for Ohio State. Offense did come in big, though, for these Buckeyes. And how about Evan McPherson, baby? Trusting him with the 53-yarder early. Trusting him with the game winner. You got to trust him with the game winner. You got an option. That's why you draft this guy. He's going to be a stud. He really is. So love to hear you guys' thoughts on this Bengals football game. Got a lot more to talk about. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.